Hi, this is Walter from Yellowstone Country Fly Fishing, and this is a video fishing report for the Yellowstone region for June 1st, 2025. I'm standing here in the Gibbon River Canyon up in Yellowstone Park, and this is probably our sort of pick of the week fishery. This is about the only place in the region where you're going to catch fish on dry dropper combinations right now, and this is going to be less crowded than the Firehole or the Madison in Yellowstone Park, which are kind of our other main walkway fisheries this time of year. If you're not familiar, this region sees a really heavy spring snowmelt, and so the water elsewhere in Yellowstone Park, as well as most of the water outside Yellowstone Park, is in the spring runoff right now, and it's not fishable. What I've been fishing today are a mixture of dry dropper combinations. Right now I'm fishing a size 12 gold chubby Chernobyl, trailing a size 16 Frenchie, and that's working some. I've also caught some fish on purple prince nymphs, kind of a holographic prince nymph of my own creation. Caught some fish on synth double wings, which is a big attractor dry fly derived from a Gary LaFontaine pattern. I've had hits on just about everything I've tried today, and you probably will too. The more important part here is just finding water that isn't getting trafficked pretty badly. And tippet wise, 3X and 4X are what you should be using. 3X to your dry, 4X to your dropper nymph, and 9-foot or 8.5-foot 4 to 5 weight rod is suitable. Downstream of Gibbon Falls in particular on this river, you could see some larger fish, and so you don't want to go ultra light on your rods. Stretch I'm fishing is above Gibbon Falls, and a 14-incher is a big one, but I like my 8-foot 9-inch 5 weight, so that's what I'm fishing. This is going to be our kind of top fishery in Yellowstone Park until about the middle of the month, as long as it's been kind of warm and sunny out. When it's cooler out, I'd probably head over to the Firehole River. And here in about 10 days, you can also start fishing lakes in Yellowstone Park. Those are going to be a lot more accessible in terms of mud and snowmelt and so on in a week or so. Stay tuned, and I'll kind of cover how to fish this pocket water stream. Give you a little tip at the end here. And if you like this fishing report, I'd appreciate it if you click like and subscribe on YouTube or follow me on Instagram. My website is at flyfishmontana.biz. And my Instagram is ycflyfishing@gmail.com. No, just Yellowstone Country Fly Fishing, I'm sorry. And then if you, my email is ycflyfishing@gmail.com. But anyway, I'm going to shut up now and go back to fishing. And like I said, go ahead and stay tuned for a little tip on tactics for this river and really any kind of pocket water stream. Thanks. Okay, so I've got a couple good pockets here, and this is just a good one for demonstration purposes, because underneath my rod tip out there, that's faster and deeper than I'm going to want to try to wade across, and it's a fairly wide current tongue as well. So I've got a nice slot right down my bank here, essentially just off of this bush, extending up to the kind of that little spillover next to the bank there. I've also got a pretty high bank, and that bush is going to obviously screw up my drift if I try to cast from back on the bank into that water. So what I'm going to do is actually cast essentially straight up my bank, 90 degree, or the stream is at a 180 degree clock face. I'm casting at 0 degrees right now. I'm going to fish this, and then I'm going to walk and essentially stand where I was just casting, turn, and that's how I'm going to fish out here behind the logs. And then I can also wade out and hit this stuff kind of right out in the middle. And I don't want to get any further upstream than I am, because you see how my rod tip is right now essentially right over that rock. That's kind of the end of that pocket. There could actually be a fish right underneath my rod tip here. And this rough water like this, you saw how I flubbed that last cast. No problem going up there, picking up my fly right away, because this water is making enough of a disturbance that you're not going to spook them. So if you miss your cast, and especially if it's going towards something, that could potentially be a snag, definitely pick it up. Don't wait on it to get past you or whatever, like you would do in slower water. All right, so now I'm going to shorten my line quite a bit, move up here, That way I'm gonna have about a 45 to 45 angle from that log to that next line of rocks. That one wanted it. I don't know if he ever actually got it in his mouth. But you see how I'm able to get a nice drift by using the reach of my rod to get over that fast current. I think that was the only shot I was gonna get at that fish. That might have been a neat. I've had a lot of really quick, short strikes today. A lot of fish kind of doing backflips over it, but never really getting it in their mouth. Now this one's gonna be harder. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to even get a drift here, but don't hesitate in water like this to actually try to get a slight downstream drift. Because sometimes you can get a mend in much more easily when it's slightly below you like this. And there's one. And I suspect that the reason I caught that one is because the people I think I'm fishing behind didn't actually fish that spot. But there you have it. It's about an 8-inch brown trout. Would have liked it if he was bigger, but you know. Fun little river, the Gibbon, and that's our pick of the week.